Welcome to the Rootz of Chicago Podcast. My name is DJ Cisco, and welcome to our musical journey as we travel through 40 years of house music. We're going to bring along DJs and producers to come along on this journey as we focus on keeping house music alive through the culture of our next generation. Today, I'm going to welcome our panelists. We have Pedro DeJesus, attorney, DJ extraordinaire, and also my mentor.
Yes, sir.
Also, Ricardo Sandoval, promoter and the president of Rootz of Chicago organization, Ricardo Sandoval. And I'd like to welcome our very first guest. This man has been my influence as a DJ. I am super stoked. Looked up to this guy since I was 8-9 years old. I'd like to welcome the producer, awesome, super duper trooper, Tyree Cooper.
Legend.
What's up, Tyree?
Word. Let me shake your hand real quick on camera. What's up, little bro? How y'all feeling? Nice to meet you, brother. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you
Good
again.
to see you, my brother.
Yes, always good to see you, brother. Yeah, I'm fine, man. Everything Gucci.
Tyree,
Gucci.
I just want to say that growing up in Chicago, being a Chicago kid, right, wearing Peyton, right?
Hey, sweetness. The
Sweetness.
Bears, the real one.
From the
Pause.
80s, right? I'm thinking about the 80s, Super Bowl champion Bears, right? Michael Jordan just got drafted by the Bulls. We're talking about mid 80s. And then we have the pinnacle of house music, right? And we're going into the creation of hip house. And when I think about hip house, I think about Tyree Cooper.
Oh, right on.
So tell me, who created hip house?
Okay. So Fast Eddie created it, named it, and we just made it. It's plain and simple. It's really plain and simple. I mean, like, before that you had like I'm just gonna rewind it a little bit, so I hope you don't mind. So like, I like the intro when you said about Jordan and the Bears, you know, Bears winning in '85, Jordan coming to Chicago. And at that same time, when all that's happening in Chicago, house music was actually being born in a roundabout way. The music part, not the culture, just the music part, right? So when the inception of house music, hip hop has always been a thing in Chicago. You had young guys always trying to rap. I remember guys rapping on the buses and everything. So when DJ International Track started releasing records, like White Knight was one of the first ones to rap on a record, a house record, but it wasn't called hip house. M-Doc was another one. Cool Rock Steady, believe it or not, before I got to him, he rapped on I'll Make You Dance by Liddell. So when you talk about hip house, these before Eddie named it, these were just house records with rap on them. The difference is what Eddie did, he made you believe like this was an actual hip hop record sped up to a house tempo for so y'all young ones, younger than me, can get into it, keep the culture the same. You know what I mean? Like, keep it all as in one.
Let me interrupt.
Yeah, sure.
So when I think of hip house, I think of Let the Music Take Control,
Mm-hmm.
Turn Up the Bass,
Mm-hmm.
Hip House 89.
Mm-hmm.
So around this time, I'm a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm battling in quinceañeras, weddings, school dances. But that energy, right? I think of the Jungle Brothers,
Mm-hmm.
I House You, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows that song as House Music All Night Long, but it's called I House You.
Yes.
That's hip house.
For 100%, Nate or the Baby Bam, and that's one of my good friends too. Shout out to Baby Bam. We've had this debate even in my house in Germany about that record. But yeah, it's hip house. But again, Eddie, even like the hip house that you listen to, he made sure he put his staple on that sound. He even tells you, listen to the beat that is jumping. You know what I mean? Like he's telling you exactly. The other one, the Jungle Brothers, was talking about I'll house you. Now, depending on where you live at, back in the day, I'll house you meant I'll dance you out or I'll steal from you. So I'll house your car. I'll house you on a dance floor. It depends, right? So the Jungle Brothers was talking more about the culture of house music. Eddie said, no, this is a new style that I created. All around the world is devastated. And he explained to you what it was. So the difference in as far as the impact goes as far as hip house, Eddie named it, claimed it, and we just made it.
And Tyree, what are you doing during this time? How did you wedge yourself then into that? That's a new music scene, right? It's just getting off the ground. How did you make your mark?
So prior to that, I was what they would call a studio rat. So I was like a Kanye before there was a Kanye. Like I would be in the studio selling beats or making beats and things of that nature. So for me, hip house felt natural. It was just DJ International Rocky Jones said, "Hey Tyree, I got a great idea. If you made a hip house record," I'm going, "No, that's Fast Eddie's thing. I don't want to do that. That's totally up to Eddie." No. And Benji Espinoza, was out there say, Benji would be like, "Hey Mark, you should do this." I'm like, all right, whatever. So I called up Cool Rock Steady from Liddell, because he and Liddell had worked together. So once I put it together and listening to my favorite rapper at the time was Rakim. So when he said, "Turn up the bass, it's better when it's loud," I like to move the crowd. I went, "Oh shit, turn up the bass. That's it. That's it." So I got in the studio, got everybody together, and I was like, 1, 2, 3. And I'm the only one that said, "Turn up the bass."
So I think
It's that easy.
That easy. And that's how you heard "Turn Up the Bass." And that was that. Yeah, go ahead.
But when you're capturing that, when you're thinking about turn up the bass, dancers, they want to hear that music louder. As a DJ, I kept telling everybody, "Hey, turn my monitors up until I see the music. I want to feel it. I want to hear it. I want to go deaf." Fast Eddie, in his track, he defines hip house, right? The definition is double trouble, hip hop and house on the same level, right? So I think that golden era of house music, you guys are defining it, you're inventing it, you're molding it, you create this culture that's lasted for 40 years.
Yeah, well, again, so you got to remember too, as new as it was for you guys, right? When I say you guys, I'm not for you youngins. That's why I say youngin, because y'all younger than me. It was perceived that it was this Chicago thing, but literally all over Europe, it was a movement, because that was one of the first genres that gave a rapper or an MC a chance to spit without being like put in a box. Like I only have to do boom bap to be heard. It was tons of MCs or rappers that come out of New York, out of the UK, that started out with hip house. I mean, like some of your drum and bass DJs, some of your drum and bass MCs, some of your speed garage MCs, and I have to say it like that in the UK, speed garage or speed garage. They were listening to hip house. They were listening to Fast Steady, Cool Rock Steady, Tyree Cooper. So, again, it was a thing up until the 90s. I say it like that. It was a beautiful thing up until the 90s. The 90s, everybody wanted to be a gangster, and then it was it. That was it.
So then you feel like hip hop influenced hip house in a way, in that kind of transition from hip house, because when I think about hip house, we think about the late 80s, which was also the golden era for hip hop. Between late 80s to like mid 90s. Yeah. Hip hop just kind of.
Well, yeah, of course it did, because Fast Eddie said he got the idea listening to Rob bass, right? It Takes Two. So if you want to say it like that, then yeah, we kind of influenced each other, although hip hop had a 10-year, as far as making records, a 10-year head start on us. Right. So we didn't come till later. Yeah.
So correct me if I'm wrong, because this is your life, man. This is your history. I was a little
house music is my life.
I was a youngin, you know, and I think, you know, as a host, I grew up listening to house. Mm-hmm. So I want to learn as much as I can from you, because I wasn't around in terms of the industry, nightlife, being in production. I was a little kid, but I want to thank you for influencing me, because those tracks as a dancer led me to want to become a DJ, right? Because I felt from your music, from your sound, I felt the house sound. So that definitely influenced me to become a DJ. And I know that influenced a lot of other DJs 100%. To want to be DJs. 100%. And I want to thank my boy Pedro right here, Pete, DJ Pumpin' Pete, because he took me under his wing and literally taught me how to mix. Like and
then he took it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, see, but that's how it is.
The second generation took it to a whole nother level.
Again, speaking of the second generation, that's how out of the last in the 80s, the genres to be developed out of Chicago was hip house, and then when the 90s come, that generation gave us ghetto house, right?
Yeah.
From hip house and around about, well, from house music in general, but they took all the elements from what was prior to 6, 7, 8 years before, and by the times moving faster, the pitch went faster, the tempo sped up, and now you got ghetto house. You got this raw music that's being developed in the communities, just like house music was. You feel me? It's the same energy, it's just by younger people. Now this is their entry point to the music business. It's a bit rougher, it's a bit harder.
So what year are you kind of referencing to, so I can have a mental note?
So we talking from, okay, like hip house as you remember it ended in 90.
Okay.
As you remember the rawness, the purest. Ghetto house was already forming, it just hadn't had a name yet. Mm-hmm. So you have Maximum Overdrive, you had DJ Rush, you had Robert Armani. These tracks is like 1988, 89. But no one called it ghetto house. So ghetto house, we talking, I would say from 91, 92. So it takes a little bit of time for this music to generate.
Yeah.
You know, because you got first of all, you got kids that's 13, they can't have a party. They can't go to a club.
What are you talking about? I was at parties all the time. I was already juking.
Yeah, but
I was ready to percolate in 93. That's when Percolator came out.
So if you was percolating in 93, then you was almost in high school. So, but I'm talking about like when that ended, when you was listening to hip house, you was in 7th, 8th grade.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So
I'm not saying my age, but I'm just gonna say yes.
I'm just giving you the timeline on how the scene and Chicago embraced this new generation, y'all generation, your Track Man, your D Mans, your Gant Mans, all this generation, Dion, Funk, all came out from Chicago house music and hip house, because some of them was rapping. So they embrace, some of the people embraced it. I can't say all of Chicago embraced it, because, you know, it's not being exploited, but some people embraced it and that became a thing, right? So yeah, it's always a, this house music always will be a youth movement.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's why you don't see it today, because the youth is not moving with it.
So you bring up a good point. We're talking about youth, and we're here for the Rootz of Chicago podcast. Mm-hmm. So I want to kind of take a moment to talk about Rootz of Chicago, and you're on the board of this nonprofit. So why did you decide to be on this nonprofit, Rootz of Chicago, that is promoting music and culture and developing youth to kind of influence this music?
Because Rick held me by knife point. Rick Sandoval held me by knife point. Him and Charles Morgan held me at knife point and threatened to take off my shoes and tickle my feet until I turned green.
So we're gonna blame Rick, right? Let's blame Rick.
No, we talked about it, man. For real, we talked about it, and like I said, I've been knowing Rick almost, man, in a couple of years. I've been knowing Rick 40 years, like instantly. Like we Co-Ed Entertainment. Shout out to Co-Ed Entertainment. So it was, to me, it was just a natural thing. Like when we talked, I was like, yeah, man, this is great, especially to give back. A lot of people don't want to. Some people thinking giving back is pouring a lot of money. No, like a lot of these kids, if you look around Chicago, man.
Let me give a little backstory to that so that they understand where we're coming from. So I was at the park one day and I was just doing my workouts, and the supervisor says, "Hey, Rick, is there any way you could do like a workshop here or something to teach these kids how to DJ? Because nobody wants to come to the park. They want to do esports. They want to do other stuff, music." And I said, "Yeah, I can do that. I can do something." And when I got back to my place, either the next day or the day after, Tyree was doing some work with Charles, and I literally ran into him and said, "Hey, what do you guys think about this?" And then from there, basically everything sprung out. From there, we took it like, okay, let's do this and let's run with it. Yeah, and that's where we're at now. I mean, it took us a long time to get here, but we're here now.
Right, exactly. So it was, again, like I said, I've been knowing him. So for me, it's like if your brother say, "Hey, man, could you help?" I'm like, yeah, I help y'all. Y'all helping me. You know, so yes, it was a no-brainer, especially to give back to like I said, to the young ones. They don't know, like how our four of us, you being the youngest, learning this music takes time and patience. Some of us had a mentor, some of us didn't. And the fact that the ones that didn't may need that. They might be, some of these kids might be an hour away from jail, but the fact that we can give them something else to deter them from that, oh man, I'm all with that.
Yeah,
I'm with that.
And
100%.
you know, I wasn't an hour away from jail, and I think my parents, you know, did the best that they could to lead me the right way. But music, you know, as cliche as it sounds, that DJ saved my life. Yeah. You, as a producer, Fast Eddie, Cool Rock Steady, the Jungle Brothers, and I mentioned these people before, but that era of music literally led me. It was sports and DJing. Yeah, you know. That's all it was for me.
Yeah, it was definitely sports for me. Like I tell the story. I'm in my freshman year in college, and I'm on the basketball team, right? And this guy,
Jordan.
No. This guy, because his son was real famous. A guy named is Kevin Dockery. His son was Sean Dockery. Right. So his dad and I played against each other in high school. In college. Yeah. Oh, I got a lot of people I played against. But anyway, this particular story. So, me and Kevin went up for a rebound, and I say mistakenly he hit my nose, and my nose is on this side. I'm like, oh snap! And so the coach came over and said, "Son, don't worry about it," and popped it back in place. I went, oh snap! Man, he was old school. So, but that made me think about my career choices.
I think you're like, maybe basketball.
Maybe this is not how I want it to be. And it was again, shout out to Kevin Dockery. I know, I don't think he intended on doing that. But when I made that decision, I told the coach, like, yeah, man, no, he said, son, what are you going to do? You going to hang out in the radio room, or you going to come to practice? And Hugo Hutchinson, Hugo H, shout out to Hugo, he said, hey, Ty, aren't you supposed to be in practice? Man, fuck practice. I'm not going to practice, Joe. He's like, hey, man, you supposed to be in practice. Man, fuck that. He said, coach said, hey, what are you going to be in the radio room? Yeah, I'm going to hang out with the radio room. And this assistant coach, Coach AG, I hope this brother's still alive to this day. I hope he is. He said to me, I'm not going to say what he said. I just give you the gist of it. He said, hey, man, you throwing your life away, man.
Doing music?
He said, you doing music, man. They ain't going to do you nothing. I can get you in college. I can get you this, man. What you need, grades? I'm sending myself. Oh, this is an NCAA violation waiting to happen. Right? I'm going.
Wait, so they were trying to promote you going to play basketball?
No,
college?
I wasn't, man, that's how I got
Tyree,
in
you're
college.
like 5'0", man. Come on.
That's
like,
how
you really going to be playing ball against these guys? You were that good?
That's how I got. I went to I started at the University of Stout in Menominee, Wisconsin. That's how I started out. So that was too freaking far, and I hadn't been around white people ever. So my whole thing was like, nah, I might as well come back home. So I went home to Kennedy King College. I played. I was on the team. I was playing up until, because I wanted to play against this guy named Tony McCoy. I don't know if he'll see it or not, but it doesn't matter. I wanted to play against him because he used to talk shit to me when I was in high school. And I wanted to let him know that I gotten better. I'm not the same old little Tyree that now I got handles, I can shoot a little bit, I got a little speed. So I felt myself. After that nose, I went, you know what? Fuck all that. I'm going to do some music. And what did I know? I went home, I told my mom. She's like, well, what you going to do? I said, I'm going to be a DJ like Farley. Farley who? Funkin' Keith. You better take your ass to school or go to the service. I'm like, Mom, I'm not doing none of that. I'm going to be a DJ. Shit, you're not. 3 years later, over the course of time, but it took 3 years. By the time that third year hit, I was already making my first record.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So,
who do you see as your mentors?
My mentor, okay, as far as house music goes,
yeah.
Farley. That was my first one.
Which Farley?
Jack Master. Oh, sorry, Farley Funkin' Keith. It don't matter. Farley Keith, Farley Williams. It don't matter which version of him it is. Only because him and Leonard remixed Roy, because those were the two, and Hugo H to a degree, because the three of them separately made me want it. They just didn't give it to me. And this other guy I got to give a super shout out to, James Hines, Otto Hines, and Greg Hines, the Hines brother, Bob Simmons. All these cats I'm mentioning, they let me hang around.
So was it more the DJ side or the production side?
No,
or
this all
both?
DJ. This all DJ. Production. Yeah, Quincy Jones was a idol to me, but as far as production, when I hung around Jesse Saunders that one time in the summer, shout out to Jesse Saunders, shout out to Kurt Townsend, and saw his equipment in his basement, I went, fuck that. I want to do this shit right here. Hey, Jesse, and shout out to Vince Lawrence. I'm punching on shit. Hey, man, how does this work? Hey, man, you want to get your hand off this? Hey, man, get your hand off. And so one day they was doing a show out at Stony Island Park on 87th and Jeffrey. And I was coming, like, I was a humongous liar back in the day. Like, I'm the biggest DJ on the South Side. I command these many people and woo woo.
Oh, that's you. So you were a promoter before you were a DJ.
Man. Oh, God. And Kurt Townsend said, and I quote, yeah, grab that speaker, put it on the truck. When you get through with that, you and somebody else grab this amp rack and put it on the truck. I'll give you records. So I'm like, okay, so all I got to do is put it on there, and then I get some records. Nah, it wasn't that easy. I had to take the shit off. So I went to the park with them, watched them perform, and from watching Jesse Saunders and Wayne Williams and Eric Bell and them perform, I said, no, this is something I want to do.
I started off as a roadie too.
Yeah.
When I first started with Radical Jess, I was his roadie. I was a little kid, just carrying records and amps and speakers, and there I went. Man.
But I never knew that was a roadie. I just thought it was just helping the motherfucker out.
It was an internship without even knowing you were an internship.
I didn't know. But I knew from that moment, this is something I wanted to do. There was nothing else.
But what was it? Was it the people? Was it the music? Was it kind of like, oh, I'm the guy? Like, what is it? Because now for kids, it's becoming a fad, right? They want to be on Instagram. They want the likes. You know, this is all clearly way before that. So what was it for you that made it It
was, okay, when I was younger, right? I said I wanted to be famous like Richard Pryor. Like, I could never be a comedian, but I just wanted to be famous. So whatever that took. So basketball was my first iteration. So I was like, yeah, that may not be it. So for me, when I saw Jesse and them perform outside, that was it. It was the people, the atmosphere. It wasn't like they was running to Jesse and pulling down his pants, trying to get to his job. It was everything that excited me about that. So it was a rush without having a drug in my body.
What was the first moment you said, man, I made it here? So you're talking about being famous.
When did you know you made it? Like, I'm famous now.
Yeah. Okay, there was two times. So, the first moment when I put out, I recorded After the Night. I think I did it in February or some shit like that. Rocky, I don't know when I think he released it in June of '86. But so he had test pressings in March, and nobody wasn't messing with it. Nobody didn't touch it. And then I'm like, okay, well, fine, fuck it. And then Ralphie just Ralphie Rosario. Shout out to Ralphie. He played it, and then I'm like the movie. I don't know if y'all seen the 5 Heartbeats, and he said, "Hey, Duck, turn down the radio. Turn on the radio. They playing our song." He said, "Yeah, they playing our song." I said, "Yeah, they playing our song." So I told the chick, oh my gosh, they playing our song. So that's when I thought I had made it the first time. Yeah, that wasn't really it, because after the next song they didn't play. So I was like, fuck. So I learned the business, and when Turn Up the Bass came out, then I said, okay, now I made it. I figured that. I said, because it wasn't just Chicago no more. Like in Europe.
Yeah, it went worldwide.
Yeah, man. I went, okay, I done made it now. So that was that moment.
All right. So before we continue rolling on with your history, I'd like to give a brief shout out to the Lincoln Park Room. If you haven't been to the Lincoln Park Room, please come and visit Francisco and Anastasio here. The Lincoln Park Room is an amazing space for you to create your podcast, host your events, and even produce your music. So please come out and visit the LPR Room and reach out to Anastasio. We also like to thank Output Lounge is one of our first sponsors as well. If you love wings, Chicago's all about sports and food and music. You need to go to Output Lounge and get the best wings in town. And another big shout out to one of our sponsors, Vin 312, in-house winery in Chicago. Make sure you talk to Warner DeJulio there and get some wine tastings. And we'll talk about more of our sponsors later on. But we'll continue with your story, Tyree. And a lot of podcasts are out there, especially in Chicago, and they have a lot of local DJs, which is great. But for our first guest, we have an international DJ, international producer. So, and we're talking about worldwide. We're not just talking about Chicago, Western Hemisphere. We're talking about Europe. So, spanning your career, all of these events, which is probably the best place that you've ever mixed at?
It's just a lot of spots. So, like, one of the best spots I mixed at was probably one. I gotta say 3 of them. All right, I'm gonna try to get 3 of them. One of the first weirdest party I ever did was this place called the M1. Sorry, I spoke German. It was in Stuttgart, and it was a foam party, right?
What year are we talking about?
1995, 96.
Okay.
1995, 96. They turned a dance floor into a 3-foot swimming pool.
Yeah, that was a thing for a while.
And
what were you wearing though?
Because
that's the thing. That's the thing about foam parties. What are you going to wear to a foam party?
I, under the never assume, because you make an ass out of. So I figured I'm gonna dress like, I'm the headliner. Never do that. Never do that. So I had a Carl Kanai net shirt, like mesh shirt, the old school Dennis Rodman Nikes and stuff. Oh man, nice jeans, man. By the time I left that place, all that my Carl Kanai had a dirt streak going over here. My Rodmans was all tore up. They was all dirty, but I had a fantastic time. The foam was so high in that club, it was spewing all out into the
street.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Because foam parties, they're either good or it's a hot mess. There's either not enough foam, people are slipping on the floor, there's some wardrobe malfunctions going on.
The second one was probably Israel, and it was like it was almost like a cave situation, but it wasn't really a cave. It was like this tucked in. It was like a tucked in place, right? It was like off the street. It just looked weird because when you come in, they had all this camouflage gear and shit, like some weird shit. Oh, it was fantastic. And first of all, I'm freaking out. I am in Israel. You understand? The shit was going through my head at this particular time. You cannot imagine. But I had the best time in this motherfucker, dog. Like, yo, I'm playing disco. Like, I'm imagining I'm in Chicago at the Music Box, and I'm playing tunes. I'm going, the fuck? This is amazing.
And they're jamming to everything. Every
last record. Now, what tripped me out that day was, before I get to my third one, I went to McDonald's. Didn't think none of McDonald's. I had my backpack. And the security guard said, hey, I need you to open your backpack. And for half a second, that Chicago Southside attitude came out. Like, hey, oh, right. Remember where you at, bro?
Yeah,
like, yeah. I was opening up. He looked, he was like, yeah, you good, man. You can close. I'm like, no. I want you to understand it ain't happening here. And then it made me think about where I was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the fuck. The third place, it's a tie. Okay, it's between Siberia, Serbia, and Bosnia. Right? So
what? But wait a minute. We're still in the same era, say mid 90s. Like, what you're talking about?
Okay.
Because weren't there a couple wars around that time?
right. So Serbia and Bosnia was surely after the war. Like, see, when the 96 the war ended, I went in 2012, I think, somewhere up in that. So it was over. But I didn't fly. We drove from Serbia to Bosnia, and we went on that toll road, which was brand new. It didn't matter. It was empty. And when I went to this gas station in Bosnia, they had never seen a black guy. I had never seen a Bosnian really, other than, I guess, on TV. And so I'm speaking English. He's speaking Bosnian. I know that mug was like, the fuck is this dude saying? I'm saying to my guy, what the fuck is he saying? You know what I'm saying? But I had a good time in Bosnia. Yet you see the bullet holes and all the rest of that stuff going down the street. I had a good time. It was a warehouse party, and it was packed, and it had acid music. You wouldn't, but the shit that people, when you see a country being bombed out, being ravaged, and anything other than that, that's only what they want you to show you, to sensationalize it, right? When I went to Bosnia, man, it was so peaceful. When I went to Serbia, I played basketball in Serbia. I was in Moscow, Russia, right next to the Kremlin. I mean, right next to the Kremlin, shooting ball like you don't think about stuff like this, but.
And this is where music took you.
This is all where house music took me. Every trip that I've made is not necessarily hip house. Like in the 90s, like my Dance Mania records, like there's one record called Nothing Wrong was the equivalent of like a Turn Up the Bass for me in the 90s and in the 2000s.
You're talking about 90s. I'm thinking Do Your Thing. That was
big, but that was more of a Chicago thing. That Dance Mania stuff, man, that took me, that helped take me everywhere, because it was different for Dance Mania. It was just different. Like, you had the legends, DJ Funk, DJ Dion, Juro, Jammin' Juro, Corky Tracks, man. All these are legends. For me, it helped solidify my career, right? Like, so I did all the early house music, Die for the Night, the Acid Over, the acid music, the hip house. So now this is another era with the younger guys, and I'm fitting right in with them with my stuff. So like when I did Do Your Thing, I did that around the same time I did Nothing Wrong. And Nothing Wrong it was a hip house record that I tried to sell to Tribal Tribal UK, and they flat out told me, man, we don't do hip house. We're far past that now, Tyree.
We've outgrown that.
We're far past that, Tyree. No one does hip house. The moment that record was released with Dance Mania, everybody in Europe had it, and it was writing on it, right? And so I'm thinking the Tribal UK going, oh, y'all some wankers, man. Yeah, okay, fine, fair enough. You don't like it, you don't like it. But a lot of that was all of it was house music, just 100. Even like to the point where is this TV show in Germany called Viva TV. It was MTV like. I almost had my own TV show speaking English on that show.
In what country?
Germany.
Wow. You lived in Germany for a while.
Yeah, I lived in Germany for almost 20 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who put you in the studio first?
So again, who put me in the studio first? Nobody. I wanted to be. I had this thing. Like I said, my biggest influence was Farley. And I said to myself, if Farley can do it, fuck that, so can I. So I asked my good friends, her name was Felicia Beeman, I forgot Crystal Foster, and Sam Britton. These are my three friends. We went into don't y'all laugh, don't y'all judge me, don't you say a word. So I like this record. This is before After the Night. This is 85, early 85. So I like this record that Ron Hart used to play called Sensuous Black Man, right? It's a Rudy Ray Moore record, but it says some of the most funniest shit, but it sound nasty, but it's funny, right? So I wanted to do a record like that. So me and my friends went to the basement of a church on the south side. And the guy named Kevin, he said, so what kind of record you want to do? So I'm like, yeah, I want to do this record, Sensuous Black Man. He said, how's it go? I said, So we started moaning and like we was having sex on the record in the basement of a church.
Yeah, I'm thinking French Kiss.
I know, sorry.
I'm thinking
That's
French
what came
Kiss.
popped into my mind.
Man, this record was so weird. The drum pattern was off a little bit because we used the Dr. Rhythm, the DR-110, and like I said, I got a musical background. Real talk. Like I was in a high school band. I know it's hard to believe. I was in a high school band, concert band, and marching band. So I understood music. House music is something else. It's music, but it ain't your everyday music. So the drum beats were off a little bit. My first attempt. But by the time we finished that and I heard it, Mike Dunn, Hugo H, and myself had $20. We took our only $20 we put together and borrowed Marshall Jefferson's 808. That's how I got After the Night. That's how After the Night came out. So
$20, that's a good investment.
That's a good investment.
Your ROI was good.
we had his drum machine for 6 months.
For $20?
Dude.
Man, you stole that thing. You didn't borrow it.
We borrowed it. We didn't steal it because he caught up with me. He's like, hey man, I want my drum machine now. Okay, but I'm in the studio now. Hey Rock, I need to book studio time. Yeah, okay. And then gave him back his drum machine, and then Rocky turned around and said, hey Marshall, you should help Tyree with this track. Marshall said, yeah, okay, cool. He heard it again. He's like, hey man, I'm not helping you. I said, what's wrong? You don't need anything. For real? Like, yeah, here, listen to this.
Keep that in mind because I'm going to ask you to hear some of my tracks because I
do that with everybody. Man. Benji Espinosa taught me how to really listen to a track. I have to get that brother a good hand. Like I'm a straight Southside dude. I always listen to it for the brothers, and Benji be like, hey man, hey motherfucker, it ain't always about the brothers. Yes, it is. No, it's not. So he helped me expand my ears, where it's like when you selling records, you just can't sell to one group of people. Mm-hmm. When you're trying to sell volumes, you better have a whole game plan for white kids, Spanish kids, right. Kids that live in the Ozarks. You better have a whole plan to sell them this record. But at the interim, I'm making them. So I'm like, man, you should put some timbales, some congas. I'm like, fuck, ain't nobody listening to that shit.
Yeah, but that's all African beats, man. That's
hey, bruh, brothers wouldn't listen to that.
But music.
After a while, After a while, I heard him, I understood it. Yeah, I put it in a heartbeat. I sound way more Spanish than a Spanish brother. You know what I mean? Like, because I will use it in a heartbeat. But yeah, it is African. But you know, when you grow up in this society, they don't teach you about yourself. You have to kind of learn that. And at this particular time, yeah, I didn't have 100% knowledge of self. You know what I mean? So yeah, so timbales and congas and bongos, outside of a bongo, yeah, but congas, I'm like, man, that's for Spanish people. I'm not using that. Ain't no Spanish person buying my records. Yeah, right. Right.
Everybody.
Yeah, right, bro. You don't even know. I can't go anywhere. Back in the day at 80, shit, it was 88, even 80, up to 88. I couldn't go nowhere. Hey, man, I feel the night. Hey, man, I feel the night. And these ain't brothers. This is all Latino. These are all my Spanish brothers. They all like, hey, man, I feel the night. Like, you do know I have other records. Like, yeah. But I feel the night.
That's the one. There was something about that track.
Right.
It was just, I don't even know how to explain it. And to me, that captures like that house music sound, right? People say, you don't understand house music. You don't understand Chicago house music. And something about I Fear the Night, you know, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. That track, it again, it's like another defining track in that era that helps levitate house music, I think, to a worldwide audience. And you just said it, you have to cater to everyone.
Yeah, but that record didn't have, think about it, right? What's to I Fear the Night? Again, like I said, I wanted a record like Central's Black Man, I want you to, that was my idea, right?
That's on the B-side.
The flip side, yeah. So I Fear the Night was under that same act. It's just that my sister Chick, she was not going to say no nasty shit. No, my sister Chick is not doing any of that, but it was under the same act. Now it's a drum track and a voice. During that time for house music, there was no songs like that. Everything had a bass line, at least a bass line. This didn't have a bass line. This didn't have no other thing but drums, the track, and a vocal. And she going, just like the other record that I love so much was called the Power Plant Theme, when she would go, Adrian Jett, shout out to Adrian Jett, same girl that sang Sensation, Inside My Mind, right? So when she sang this Jamie Principle song, well, I need your love, and I need your love, I can make you wait, and they come back on ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. So this is my idea for doing I Fear the Night. So the drums, the pattern, the songs in my head was some of everywhere. However, it was the raw energy at that time. So I'm thinking only raw ass, like when I DJ, thinking self, when I DJ, I'm gonna have something that nobody have. My shit gonna beat. It's just gonna beat. But that's Chicago attitude anyway.
Turn up the bass.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that was my whole attitude.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. And with that, DJ, here's the break. Special thanks to LPR Room, the Lincoln Park Room. Is fast becoming one of the finest one-stop shops for marketing, advertising, and audio-video production. The agency also hosts the monthly Oz Park Fest, named for the nearby city park. Step into Chicago's most inspiring creative space, a listening lounge meets art house, built for makers, storytellers, designers, musicians, filmmakers, and innovators. Be sure to check out Lincoln Park Room on Instagram and talk to your boy Anastasio. He is the man here at the Lincoln Park Room. Output Lounge, our next sponsor, brings great vibes and even better food under the leadership of owner Eddie Gutierrez and executive chef Fidel Garcia. Output Lounge has been awarded the privilege of bringing the best wings in Chicago to our customers for over 13 years with weekly drink specials. Check them out at 3 different locations: Chicago and Grand, Output in Wrigleyville, and Output in Berwyn. And if you haven't tried those wings, they'll make you slap your mama. Vin 312, our wine is a product of hard work, passion, and knowledge shared between many different people. Sharing is at the core of everything we do. And it is our hope that sharing this bottle inspires moments of conversation, friendship, love, and learning. Salud! Looking to host a private party at Vin 312 Winery? Talk to your boy Warner. Host your next event at our Speakeasy Winery located in Ravenswood. Whether you're planning a wedding event, corporate gathering, or private celebration, our team is dedicated to making your event unforgettable. I've had a couple bottles at Vin 312. They're pretty good.
Really? Okay,
talk to Warner. He will hook you up with a wine tasting. And we're going to jump into this next segment, Tyree, and we're calling this Quick Mix.
I want to tell you, you mentioned Do Your Thing. So one of our other partners, one of the board members, DeJesus, that was his first remix ever.
Really?
Oh, is that right?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know.
His first remix ever that he ever did was on Do Your Thing, because we used to work at Benji's record store, DJ Records, and he used to ask me, Jesse. He said, when I say Jess is my little brother, he is my little brother. He would ask me 1,000 questions when he was younger. Hey, big bro. You need this. So he got, when I showed him MPC and he got a chance to work on it, he's like, oh my gosh. I said, yeah, why don't you just do a remix for me? For real? Like,
he jumped on it.
He jumped on it. He didn't have a drum machine himself. I helped him. He programmed the beats. I just put them in the sequence for him. He was like, oh man. So yeah, I wanted to say that.
Well, I like that you brought that up, because I did want to ask you a couple production questions.
Mm-hmm.
Since I'm learning, right? I've been dabbling with some production. I like to call them instruments and tools. What do you prefer to use when it comes to production? And I know you mentioned the 808, but what's your preferred? Like, what's your dream machine?
Since you my little brother, and this is for the family, because I generally don't give out my secrets.
Just one tool.
I just say Logic.
Okay.
Let's say it like that. I'm not gonna tell you what instrument, but a DAW. Logic is my first and go-to only. Ableton is okay, but Logic is my shit.
Okay,
that's my shit.
All right, I got Logic, but man, that's a big download.
The only reason I say that, man, because back in the only reason I say that because like back in the day, right?
That's like 200 gigabytes.
When house music was like, people like the Europeans didn't even know what we were using, because to them, they were already using Commodore 64s for sequencing and everything. We were still using MIDI. So when they found out, because we started talking about what we were using, the more we talked about it, the more we got X'd out the game.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I've been like, nah. Like I said, I had to pick and choose. And again, for my brothers, but generally I can narrow it down to just Logic. Yeah.
So be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on the Chicago, Rootz of Chicago channel.
Yes.
Make sure you keep up to date with our latest interviews with DJs and producers. And we're going to jump into this segment called Quick Mix. So Tyree and everybody else, I welcome you to jump in as well. I'm going to make a statement. First thing that pops into your mind. Okay. Vinyls, CDs, or controller?
All the above. Whatever makes the crowd move.
I say controller because I used to have to carry crates of records, and I'm not doing that again.
Word. Controller's the way to go.
Controller's the way to go.
I used to be a vinyl guy. I'm like, you know what, vinyl, I don't care. You know, this, you got the new genre of music now. Everywhere's going electronic. I'm always going to be vinyl. No, that wasn't
for me, it doesn't
Nobody's
matter.
going to carry a crate around anymore.
No. For me, it doesn't matter.
Remember, I was a roadie first, so I used to be the carrier of vinyl records. And
I know, but Jess, with all those records.
Yeah, exactly.
Favorite city to DJ at?
It's too many to count.
One. We're talking about one, Tyree.
Berlin, Germany. Only because Berlin, Germany reminded me of Chicago so much, because it was, I could play freely. Like, okay, I'll put it like this. It reminded me of old Chicago. I say it like that.
Facts.
Because I could play freely. But I couldn't play no Chicago-based records. Like, I couldn't play any Bad Boy Bill records. I could play a Marshall Jefferson, but not a Bad Boy.
Really? Why is that?
It sounded... You really want to know?
Yeah.
It sounded too white.
Really?
Okay.
They wanted...
No Mario Diaz records like
it wasn't raw enough.
Ron?
I said it wasn't raw enough.
No, it wasn't raw. Like
they wanted the underground
stuff. Can You Jack is raw. Can you? Yeah, they didn't get into that. That one and the Mike Hitman Wilson How You Like Me Now, cool. That's a classic Chicago. No, you couldn't. Man, they ran out there. Oddly enough, they did because I think it sounded acidic. Was Jason's Watching, and because it sounded acidic and techno, but they thought it was techno. So Berlin, I could play deep disco, I could play deep house, I could play acid for sure. All in the house room. I could do all that in the house room. Yeah, so that's my favorite place to play would be Berlin.
All right. Sync button or no sync button?
Oh, for sure, no sync button.
Come on now.
Really,
You can't even ask that.
Right.
We're hoping that this channel reaches the youth, right? Because a lot of these kids, they need all the help that they can get.
No, listen. I'm not gonna say no names. Me and Rick.
I'm not gonna say anything.
We was at the band show?
Band show, yeah.
Stop! Don't say too much description.
So we at the band, so I'm playing. And my is going weird. Rick looking at me like, "Oh, what's up? What's up?" I'm like, "I don't know." And I'm looking at this shit. Somebody had the sync button.
Oh,
he never
your
used
pitch
it.
wasn't.
He wasn't used to it.
Your pitch wasn't going.
Yeah.
Dude, my shit was like everywhere. I'm like, no, I sound like a buster. No. Yeah. So yeah.
One person, dead or alive, that you could collaborate with.
Ooh, good question.
Okay. Okay. This is a trick question. You mean like on anything or just like specifically house music?
Let's say you're going to make a track tomorrow and you can say, boom, this person is going to work with me. No questions asked, dead or alive. Who is it? No matter what genre, no matter if,
Marley Marl.
Okay.
Marley Marl. I like Marley Marl because we're not the same person, but we're the same. Like I never produced officially a hip hop track, but I have done hip hop tracks. Like when I was on the radio, WJPC back in the day, as a hip hop DJ. So, and Marley was like my favorite producer, at that time. I like Lawrence P. I definitely like Dr. Dre, but, Marley, because Marley Marl understood house music. And that, to me, that comes from the same community that I'm from. So matter of fact, in 1989, he said some of his favorite records for that year, he named LL Cool J, Heavy D, and Tyree Cooper.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, I remember that. That burnt in. Well, then again, I cursed out Ed Lover and Dr. Dre too in New York for the New Music Seminar, but that's another story. But it would probably be Marley Marl would be number one, and then Dr. Dre, because I like Marley. I can get is raw. He's from the streets. He's from the hood, so I get it. Dre, same thing. It's just how his ear operates when he hears something. Like it could be like one time I sampled a record from NWA. I'm not gonna say which record.
Did you get permission to do that?
Hell no. And I got this sound just right. So when you hear it today, I tell you off camera, when you hear it today, you'll think it's a drum machine. But I took it from because even back then when I heard like To the Break of Dawn by Marley Marl, To the Break of Dawn, To the Break of Dawn, I was like, oh shit, who produced this shit? And then I heard Gangsta Gangsta and the doom doom fact doom, that it was so big room. I'm like, oh man, who and it had the little rock to it because I'm a classic rock head. I'm sorry, I love me some rock music. So it would probably be Marley Marl first, to answer your question. Marley Marl first, and then Dr. Dre, and then probably like Primo, DJ Premier.
Okay, I got a question for you. Awesome Super Duper Trooper. Where'd that come from?
Oh, I was going to ask.
Because you know what? No matter where you go in the world, if you say Tyree Cooper and they know house music, first thing they're going to say is Awesome Super Duper Trooper.
Great question.
Great question. Never lied. I don't care where. Let's get that deeper. It don't even have to be the age. It don't have to be in our age. It's younger kids that when they say my name, it just comes there. So So when I was producing Turn Up the Bass, when I finished the demo, I asked Cool Rock would he rap on. He said, yeah. First of all, I asked JMD. He said, no, I'm not doing. Remember JMD? Now I remember that name.
Yeah.
He said, no, I'm not doing no hip hop, no hip house music. I'm not doing no mouse music. Like, bro, you the only rapper I know other than Top Dog and a few other ones, but he was the one that I liked. So anyway, I asked Cool Rock Steady where he rap when. He said, yeah, sure. I drove to his house, gave him the cassette, and he by the time I got back to the studio, like I said, I was a studio rat. I went back to the studio and he called down and he said, hey, I'm almost done. I'm like, damn, I just dropped it off. It maybe took a half hour. Right? I'm like, damn, I just dropped it off. He said, yeah. I got you. He said, I got a verse. Like, before anybody heard it, he said, I got a verse that's going to immortalize you.
He knew it. He knew it.
Me, fuck out of here. Motherfucker, you ain't that good. Like, I'm telling you, motherfucker, all right, Aki. That was our word, Aki, which means brother in Arabic, right? It was like, all right, Aki. All right. I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever. So he let me hear the first two verses over the phone. I'm like, all right. I was like, all right, then fuck it. Let's just wait till you come down. When I picked him up, he came down and he said the verse. I said, which verse is it? I said, that one right there. Man, nobody gonna remember that goddamn verse. Tyree Cooper the producer. Man, nobody gonna be thinking about that. The first thing when Benji heard that track, he said, motherfucker, this is a hit, quote, end quote. This is your first hit. I'm like, what? It's like, bro, that Tyree Cooper, the producer. I'm like, you think people gonna know that?
To this day.
To this fucking day. I told it's a security guard at a club. He's younger than me. And I said, just Tyree. And he said, the producer. Here's the funny story. Okay, like listen.
This is supposed to be quick, Tyree. This is supposed to be like a what? Yeah, this is a quick mix.
Okay, so you heard the Lords of the Underground.
Yeah.
Okay, me and DeJesus walking in the new music seminar, Winter Music Conference. We're walking down the street and walking in the beach. We weren't beach combers or anything. Like we just walking from one hotel to
holding
another.
Hands.
Funny. No, pause. So we walking, we just talking shit. And so we saw these three guys and just went, hey, big bro, I think that's Lords of the Underground. I'm like, no, it's not. And I looked, I'm like, oh shit, it is. So first thing went over, I'm like, hey man, Psycho is the shit. Psycho. That was my shit. Psycho. Excuse me, Mr. Funky Man. Yes, do it all. I'm like, oh my God. He's in this like, yo, man, I appreciate that, man. What's up, man? He said, yeah, my name is DeJesus. And, this my big bro, Tyree Cooper, Tyree. Do it all went. Cooper? Just looked at me. You know how Jess get there look like, the fuck? Like, yeah. Awesome, super duper trooper. We like, the fuck out of here. He's like, yeah. I'm like, how you know that, bro? He said, Marley Marl plays your shit all the time. So I'm sorry to be, but that just sums it up. How big that phrase was when the rapper knows it. And even LL Cool J left a message for me in Germany when I was performing, say, hey, tell that young brother I said what's up.
Wow. Okay.
How true it is, I may not know. But
so you get booked for a set, let's say celebrating Chicago's 40th anniversary of house music. Let's say it's in the middle of Grant Park. Let's say you're mixing at the Pavilion in front of, let's say, 4,000 people. Mm-hmm. Do you pre-make your set or are you just off the fly?
Okay, so if like when I normally perform in front of like at a festival, I try to have something prepared. I know it's like cheating, but it's not really. But I cheat to freestyle. So that means I have an idea what I want, but I may not know the beginning. Because if you're a DJ, and listen to me, DJs, if you're a DJ, those first three records are so critical to the rest of your set. Either it's gonna go one way or the other.
Let me add to that story. So the first time I brought him back for St. Procopius Kermes, a house night, he got to the place, looked at the crowd and said, give me your mic. Remember? give me a mic. I'm gonna rap.
That's the first thing I said. I'm gonna rap because I didn't know where to go. So I'm like, fuck it. Like in Europe, I would MC.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I would MC. Yeah, I know. I did a lot of jobs, man. It feel like I'm part Jamaican. Like, hey man. But yeah, I would MC. So when I talked to Rick and I was like, hey, man, is it a microphone gonna be there? He said, yeah. All right, cool. So I want to reintroduce myself. I really want to reintroduce myself.
But I already introduced you.
No, I didn't. Yeah, but I'll never.
And I even used the super duper trooper.
I think people don't even remember me. That's just because I've been away from Chicago for so long, they don't remember that. Like it's a different generation out there now.
And you know what? Rick told me that you were gonna DJ and perform months before that happened. Mm-hmm. He's like, man, I got Tyree's coming from Vegas, and he hasn't performed in Chicago in I don't know how long. So 1989, me inside was, oh my God, I get to meet Tyree Cooper. Yeah. I get to meet Tyree. You know, and I think I never met you before. That's the first time I met you, and you still are, and we don't know each other very well.
Facts.
But you are one of the most welcoming people I've ever met.
Well, I appreciate it.
And for me to be next to someone who is so historic, a producer, like everything that I've inspired to be, and is just yet so down to earth, because I met DJs who are nowhere near,
bro.
We all know that.
Nowhere near, still mixing some pub and never left that pub, but they're legendary. And you literally are legendary and literally global, international.
Appreciate it.
And for you to be as humble and even willing to listen to one of my weak tracks, I think it's amazing. And I want to thank you, like personally, for not only being here with us, but being on this board. Be sure to donate. Hit that QR code, donate.
Make sure y'all hit that. Money. Make sure y'all hit that thing right there.
Hit that QR code and donate. But I just want to thank you because what you do is definitely influential. It was influential to me. But your creativity to jump on that stage, like that was great. I appreciate it, and I know a lot of people appreciate it as well.
I appreciate that, man. I did it with Tony's. One of my idols that I idolized, his name was Ben Lebron. He was doing a benefit for this guy Tony Scott. I don't know if y'all heard of this artist named Tony Scott. That's how I'm living. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, he was doing a benefit for him. He said, "Hey Tyree, would you perform?" I'm like, "Yeah. What do I have to bring?" He said, "No. I want you to perform." "What you mean perform? Like stand on stage and perform?" I'm like, he's like, "Yeah." "For you?" "Yeah." But he didn't tell me what he told me he's going to be at this place called the Paradiso. And the Paradiso was one of the first places I performed at when I started going to Europe and Amsterdam. But I didn't think it was going to be that crowded, dog. I didn't think it was going to be all that. And I don't trust people. So I'm performing on stage with a backpack and my winter jacket in my backpack. So it looked like I got a hunchback standing on stage. But me standing on stage was never a problem. Ever, 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 ever. For someone that doesn't like to talk so much or perform, I know I'm such a...
What do you mean you don't like to talk too much?
Who are you talking about?
I know.
I didn't mean this with you.
I don't know you very well, but I know what you're saying right now is a lie.
But I mean, again, when I'm around good company, but I really don't. If I'm by myself, or I'm not by myself, if I'm with a lot of people, I'm generally quiet. I may crack a joke or two, but I'm generally quiet. Except with Charles and Rick. And it's their fault. I'm just gonna let y'all know now. It's
never mine.
It's Rick and Charles' fault why I be acting like that. But anyway, I don't like to talk, but at the same time, I do have to explain myself. I feel as though it's that. So that's for the most part what that be, just me explaining myself. So
all right, I'm gonna hit you with this last question because you took so long on that quick mix.
Cool.
You know, it started like supposed to be a 30-minute sample, and you took like 30 minutes on that sample. Yeah. Speaking about samples, what's been the favorite sample you've ever used?
You kidding? JB,
James Brown.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I used that brother. I thank him. I just said like that. I thank him. But that was the most.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because growing up as a kid, I didn't know that was JB. I just thought that was a staple of like house sound. And I think for me and a lot of generations, when we hear these samples and you're like, oh, wow, that's from a 60s track. Oh, wow, that's from a 70s track. It's kind of uncovering the onion and the layers of house music. But I'm glad you brought that up, because that sample, Jack, that one, and, other samples from JB, hip hop, that kind of defined hip house as well.
Exactly. It kind of defined drum and bass too. These are all the children of Chicago house music.
Yeah.
None of that existed until Chicago house music. We put boy bands out of business. No, I'm dead ass. Y'all laughing. You remember all those synthy bands from the mid 80s? Yeah. When house music, when No Way Back came out, oh, you didn't hear no Flock of Seagulls. You didn't hear no more, what was it? Anybody. It was over. It was over. Matter of fact, the UK had this thing called the Summer of Love that killed all those boy bands. They really had to promote them. I put it like that. It really, because the young kids was into Chicago house music. Marshall Jefferson, Adonis, whoever. It was just
tracks.
Yeah, it was into it.
All right. Well, before we wrap it up, I want to give another shout out to our 3 first sponsors, and thank you so much for sponsoring us. Without your sponsorship, we cannot continue with the podcast or with our future programming. So please use that QR code, download it, share. Even if it's $5, we don't care. Just hit that QR code. Please make a donation. And please, if you're interested in sponsoring, hit that description below and email us so that way you can be advertised with us here at the Rootz of Chicago podcast. But once again, I'd like to give a special shout out to LPR, the Lincoln Park Room, and Anastasio, as well as Output Lounge. I'm telling you, get those wings, and be sure to check out Vin 312 at the local winery in Ravenswood and talk to Warner there. And thank you so much, gentlemen. Pete, I've known you for a long time. I appreciate you joining us today. Rick Sandoval, president of Rootz of Chicago. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And Tyree Cooper, the producer.
No,
thank you so much for joining us.
I thank y'all for having me. Appreciate that.
We appreciate you.
And thank you for being on the board.
I appreciate Rick and you too.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all. And I really thank y'all.
And thank you for everybody joining us today in our first episode, Track 1.
That's right.
Rootz of Chicago. Be sure to check us out in our next podcast. Be sure to hit that like button. Hit subscribe. It's free. Costs you nothing. Hit those buttons. And visit us the next time as we deep diver into the roots of Chicago through music and production.